Tragedy strikes. Liv Morgan mourns Dominik Mysterio's passing after a heart attack on WWE Raw. The arena was electric just minutes before, but in the blink of an eye, the energy transformed into horror. Dominik Mysterio, only 28 years old, in the prime of his career, collapsed in the middle of the ring during WWE Raw, clutching his chest and gasping for air. The crowd's cheers froze into a shocked silence. The referee instantly signaled for help. Liv Morgan, who had been standing ringside, was the first to drop to her knees beside him. Her face went from playful to terrified in seconds. You could see her lips trembling as she screamed for the medics. The cameras, unsure if they should even be filming, hesitated for a split second before zooming in on her frantic attempts to get him to respond. "Dom, look at me. Stay with me, baby, stay with me," she cried, her voice shaking so hard you could barely understand her. This wasn't a storyline. This wasn't a dramatic angle for TV. This was real. Too real. The medical team slid into the ring with bags, oxygen masks, and a defibrillator. The crowd's energy was gone, replaced with an almost eerie hum of whispers and nervous gasps. And then, the sound that would haunt fans forever, the first shock from the defibrillator. Liv's scream echoed over the PA system. She clutched Dominik's limp hand, rocking back and forth as medics worked feverishly. At commentary, Michael Cole's voice was cracking. "Folks, this is not part of the show. We need to ask for your thoughts and prayers right now for Dominik Mysterio. This is terrifying." And then it happened. As the medics continued CPR, Liv's head dropped to his chest, and she let out a sob so raw that it pierced the hearts of everyone watching. The cameras quickly cut away, WWE clearly realizing they were airing a man's fight for his life live on television, but by then, the damage was done. Twitter exploded. Instagram flooded with shaky fan videos from inside the arena. The hashtag pray for Dominik shot to #1 worldwide within minutes. Backstage sources would later confirm what no one wanted to believe, but in that moment, all fans knew was that their TV screen had just shown something far more devastating than any wrestling match could prepare them for. The next night on SmackDown, the arena is wrapped in an uneasy quiet before the show even begins. The giant screen plays a slow-motion montage of Rey Mysterio's greatest moments, from WCW underdog victories to his World Heavyweight Championship win, ending on the freeze frame of Rey raising his arms in the ring, smiling, as if nothing could touch him. Then, the camera cuts backstage. Liv Morgan is seated in the locker room, still in street clothes, clutching Rey's mask in both hands. Her eyes are red, not from makeup, but from hours of silent crying. A knock on the door. She doesn't answer. The door opens anyway, revealing Santos Escobar, wearing a black, LWO Forever shirt. He looks hesitant, almost guilty. "Santos. Liv, I know you probably don't want to hear it, but I thought you should have this." He reaches into his jacket and pulls out Rey's Hall of Fame ring, the one he had worn at every public appearance since his induction. "Liv," her voice breaking, "why are you giving this to me?" "Santos. Because you're the one who was there. You saw what happened. You fought for him. And now, you're the one who has to carry his story." Liv's fingers curl tighter around the mask. "Liv. No, I'm not ready to carry anything. I just want him back." Before Santos can respond, the arena sound feed picks up outside, the crowd reacting violently as Dominik Mysterio's theme music hits. The camera cuts to the stage. Dominik, dressed in all black with a smirk that could cut glass, is walking to the ring with Rhea Ripley right behind him. Dominik grabs a mic. "Dominik. I told you all for years, my dad was weak. And now he's gone. And the only thing weaker than him, is the people still crying over him." Backstage, Liv's head snaps up, fury replacing her grief. She stands. She doesn't wait for her entrance music. The crowd erupts when she storms down the ramp, Rey's mask still clutched in her hand. Dominik tries to talk over her, but Liv snatches the mic from him mid-sentence. "Liv. You don't get to speak his name. You don't get to erase him. And you sure as hell don't get to mock him while I'm still breathing." The tension spikes. Rhea steps forward, but Liv doesn't back down. The segment ends with security rushing in as Liv lunges for Dominik, the mask nearly flying from her hands as she tries to grab him. Not to fight for glory, but to defend the honor of the man who believed in her when nobody else did. The camera lingers on the mask lying in the center of the ring, as the screen fades to black. The camera pans to a dimly lit hallway where Liv Morgan is sitting on the floor against a wall, wearing Rey's old, Latino Heat, tribute jacket. Her hair is messy, makeup smudged, eyes red from crying. Kayla Braxton cautiously approaches with a mic. "Kayla. Liv, last week, the WWE Universe saw how deeply Rey Mysterio's passing has affected you. Tonight, you're scheduled to face Zelina Vega, one of Rey's closest friends. What's going through your mind right now? Liv slowly looks up, her voice hoarse but controlled. Liv. What's going through my mind, Kayla? Nothing. There's nothing left in there. Ray was more than a mentor. He was my anchor. And now he's gone. And you want me to wrestle tonight? You think this is a match? This is a funeral. Liv stands up, her tone shifting from sadness to something darker. Liv. Zelina wants to fight. Fine. But understand this. Every single opponent from now on is gonna pay for the fact that Ray isn't here anymore. And I'll make sure they feel the same emptiness I do. Later in the night, Liv versus Zelina Vega. The bell rings and Liv starts slow, letting Zelina get some offense. But then, Liv snaps. She grabs Zelina's hair, slamming her face into the mat repeatedly, ignoring the referee's warnings. She hits an extra aggressive oblivion, but doesn't go for the pin. Instead, she drags Zelina outside and throws her into the steel steps, twice. The referee calls for the DQ. Zelina is hurt, but Liv doesn't stop. She grabs Ray's old chair, engraved with Buyaka, from ringside and holds it above her head. Dominik Mysterio's music hits. He rushes down, but hesitates at the apron, conflicted. Liv shouts at him. You weren't here for him when it mattered. You weren't here for me either. Get out of my sight. Dominik doesn't move, but security floods the ring to pull Liv away. She's screaming, clutching the chair, yelling. Liv. I told you, everyone's gonna pay. The camera opens in a dimly lit arena. Black and silver ropes replace the usual red for Raw, and the Titantron is framed with flowers. A giant portrait of Rey Mysterio in his mask smiles down from the stage. Michael Cole, voice cracking, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we celebrate the life of a legend. The ring is surrounded by WWE superstars dressed in black. Liv Morgan is in the center, wearing a long black dress, clutching Ray's mask to her chest. Tears roll down her cheeks, her usual confident smirk replaced with a broken gaze. Liv into the mic. He wasn't just a mentor. He wasn't just a friend. Ray saved my career when nobody believed in me. He taught me how to stand up, how to fight with honor, how to fly even when my feet were on the ground. And now he's gone because someone decided their ego was worth more than his life. Crowd chants. Thank you, Ray. She slowly places the mask on the casket in the ring. The crowd is silent. Liv takes a deep breath, then her grief turns into fury. Dominik Mysterio. I don't care if you're his blood. What you did makes you nothing. At SummerSlam, I'm not coming to wrestle you. I'm coming to end whatever shred of respect you think you have left. Suddenly, Judgment Day's music hits. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley lead Dominik down the ramp, dressed in a black suit but wearing that smug, twisted smile. The crowd erupts in boos. Dominik grabs a mic. Oh, Liv, still the drama queen. You think I killed Ray? No, Ray killed himself, trying to hold onto a spotlight that should have been mine years ago. I didn't take him out. I set him free. The arena erupts. Liv's eyes fill with rage. She lunges at him, but Damian Priest blocks her path, towering over her. Rhea Ripley steps up, nose to nose with Liv. Touch him, and I'll make sure you're in the casket next. Liv stares at her, trembling with anger, but she doesn't back down. She just whispers, SummerSlam, you're next too. The segment ends with Liv standing in the ring, gripping Ray's mask, glaring at Dominik as Judgment Day backs up the ramp, smirking, untouchable, for now. Liv Morgan. I've had 1 week to think about everything that's happened. Rey Mysterio was more than a Hall of Famer. He was more than a friend. He was the one person in this entire business who believed I could be more than just some girl in the background. He believed in me when nobody else did, and now he's gone. She paces, tightening her grip on the chain. And I know who's responsible. But WWE wants to wait for the investigation. No, I'm not waiting. I'm not letting bureaucracy and PR-friendly press releases bury the truth. Damian Priest. Dominik Mysterio, I'm talking to you. The crowd reacts loudly. Damian, you're a coward who hides behind factions. Dominik, you're worse. You call yourself Ray's son, but the second you had the chance, you spat on everything he stood for. Now you walk around with Judgment Day, pretending like his blood doesn't run through your veins. Liv's voice starts to break, but her rage covers it. So here's what's going to happen. At SummerSlam, you're both going to face me and whoever is brave enough to stand beside me. And when that bell rings, I'm not fighting for championships, I'm fighting for justice. And justice isn't going to be pretty. Suddenly, the Judgment Day's music hits. Damian Priest and Dominik Mysterio walk out smirking, with Rhea Ripley beside them. Damian Priest. You think you're some kind of vigilante now, Liv. This isn't your story. This is the Judgment Day's world, and Ray. He was just an old man in the way. We did him a favor. The crowd boos viciously. Dominik grinning. And Liv, if you really think you're going to take us down, you're even dumber than Ray was. Liv drops the mic and charges up the ramp. Security rushes in to separate them. She's screaming through the chaos. You're dead, Dom. You hear me? SummerSlam. Justice for Ray. The scene fades with Liv trying to break free as the Judgment Day laughs from the stage.